Today I have the Nord N200 from OnePlus on my desk. This one recently had a screen repair, but the volume up button is stuck and no longer functions. This likely happened when the mid-frame was clipped back on and it got caught on the button's nipple. And yes, I know my gloves are way too big, I ran out of my size. Let's get this one over to the heating mat. No need to get this one super hot, the back panel is plastic and too much heat can cause it to warp. After a short grilling on the mat, I can use a super thin metal shim to cut around the adhesive that holds the back to the frame. Under that and up at the top you'll find 10 identical Phillips screws. One has a tamper evident sticker over the top, and all of them are secured with thread locker. Down at the bottom there are 9 more of these same screws. This phone is designed very similarly to the Galaxy A50 series and uses a one-piece mid-frame. Using a sturdy metal pry tool to slip between the gap in the screen bezel and mid-frame, I can pop the clips that hold it in place. I have to be a little extra careful around the power button as it does have a ribbon for the biometrics running out of it to the main board. The mid-frame can then be pulled upward towards the top of the device and reveal the connector for the fingerprint reader. Now, what may be the most important step, disconnecting the battery. The last thing you want when repairing a device is for your tools to short a board and possibly cause serious damage. OnePlus makes the best battery removal method, hands down. The sound says it all. Here's our replacement part. It's a super simple ribbon with pressure connectors on one end and popper style buttons on the other. To actually access the volume button ribbon, we need to remove the main logic board. There's no board screw, just some ribbon connectors that need to be disconnected. Sadly, the antenna wires also need to be disconnected as they run under the volume buttons for no reason whatsoever. Additionally, it looks like OnePlus took a note out of Motorola's book and routed the antennas in a trench along the side of the frame, then covered it with a piece of electrical tape. 2 extra strips of copper and the main connector ribbon for the device would have replaced these antennas, solving this issue, and would have saved time for both the manufacturer and the person repairing their poorly designed phone. But here we are. Looking at the volume buttons, we can see the issue. The volume up button is missing its nipple and can no longer click properly. A dash of isopropyl alcohol will soften the adhesive that holds the ribbon to the frame. It can then be gently pried out with some tweezers, or even ripped off at this point since it's being replaced. The new ribbon can then be laid exactly where the old one was just removed, and then we can jump into some speedy reassembly. Overall, this phone feels like a weird combination of Samsung and Motorola, which makes sense since this device is a clone of another device made by Oppo, who has a tendency to make phones very similar to bigger manufacturers. With a fresh layer of adhesive, the back panel is the last step in reassembling this device. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, it makes my analytics numbers very happy. If you're interested in more repairs, be sure to subscribe, or come see some weird stuff on my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I also have a Patreon now if supporting my channel further is something you'd be interested in. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time.